would man, I would love an AI or like an onboard like GPS or whatever that sounds like an incredibly drunk Scottish guy or hyperactive Robin Williams. I would love either one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it when Waze allowed you to do a
Yes.
funny one every once in a while. I had Mr. T as my navigation.
Nice.
Turn that fool.
I had the guys from Top Gear, or the original guys from Top Gear.
That one was good too.
Nice. So who wants to do a recap from last time? And I realized last time was longer ago than last time.
Yeah.
To be fair, I honestly don't remember a lot of what happened.
Well,
to be fair,
I guess I can, and I would ask for correction if I forget or mess something up. But so since this last little bit has been kind of my pickle that I've gotten us in, we got down on the floor level, and we were heading towards the area we were supposed to, trying to avoid the I don't know, biodome with the thorny shooting things. I forget what the name of it was, but there's apparently a field there that keeps them from leaving that area and leaving plants from leaving that area, but it does not have an effect on nopales, thankfully. Then we ran across a ironbound city, and they're very prejudiced. They don't like non-ironbound, but we were able to talk our way in and kind of calm things down so that they weren't going to immediately kill everybody on site, which is lovely. The rest of the party was, I believe, just kind of hanging out in the quarters that we were given, and I went to the little market area, I guess, market area / trash recycling area. I don't know exactly what you want to call it, but I went there to kind of see what I could find, and I was offering to barter with some of the nice pink unicorn marbles that create sparks, and everybody freaked out, and 2 big ass guns came out, which is why I've got the Office Mexican standoff scene as my background picture.
I was wondering why that was there.
Only I don't have a weapon out, so I'm just kind of stuck right here in the middle.
I mean, neither do they, right? Those finger guns don't shoot real bullets. Those are imaginary bullets.
And yet, spoiler alert, if you hadn't watched The Office, everybody died at the end of that scene.
What?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I have not seen any of The Office.
As real as the guns are, everybody died.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Is that like the season? Is that like the series finale? Everybody gets split?
No.
Oh, good.
Series finale. No, it's not that they had a baby. It's not that everybody moved on. It's the end of
everybody died.
That's the best way for things to end. Then you don't have to worry about making a movie later.
I always knew my hands were weapons, but I didn't know like this.
I mean, Seinfeld probably had the best series finale for that reason.
Agreed.
Y'all went to jail. Done.
Yep.
That's funny.
Spoiler alert there too.
I'm in the middle of watching Seinfeld, but I am aware of how it ends, so no worries here. We were finished Friends not that long ago. I didn't love the ending, and I don't mean like the ending episode, that was fine, but like the final scene is always, I'm a sucker for a good ending, right? And Friends, it shows you like the window on the door, and I was kind of hoping to see them all having coffee in the shop one more time or something, because is it just me, or is that like Central Perk so present in that show? Holy crap, it's like a character in itself.
I did enjoy Chandler's last line though, which was not scripted.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I think
Should we go get some coffee or something? Do we have time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a little time. Sounds good.
Remember when Joey eats the shepherd's pie with the stuff in it? That's probably my favorite bit. He's like, "What's not to like? Potatoes, good. Gravy, good. Meat, good."
Yeah.
Love that guy. So you've got these 2 autocannons pointed at you. They're not supposed to rotate that far. The wood bracing around them breaks and splinters. And now what? The iron-bound free solid and gather around you, except for the ones in the cannons, obviously. But the rest of them kind of stand where they are and watch.
All right. So I want to very slowly and deliberately pull out my pipe. And, do pipe things.
Okay.
Put a little in there, light it
Uh-huh.
slowly and deliberately where they can see my hands.
Uh-huh.
And then I want to, whatever passes for intimidation here, and intimidation and guilt and shaming. This is what I'm trying to convey with what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Pipe going, right? So there's still a little fire.
Yeah, right.
All of you should be ashamed of yourselves. You claim to want to overthrow the people up there, the things that aren't ironbound. You claim to want to do that, yet you're afraid of a little bit of fire. Do you think that they would hesitate to burn you to the ground whenever you go to war with them? It's embarrassing. If you really want to win this war, you need to learn how to embrace it, how to use it safely, and how to defend against it. So that's what I'm offering with these.
You want to roll for that?
I was wondering if you're going to ask me, or if I was just eloquent enough that it worked. Yeah. Let's see.
Make a shame check.
Yeah, right.
Shame. I should have put that behind me. Should have had that ready to go. The
For
Game of
shame.
Thrones one.
Shame.
I haven't seen that either.
Eh.
I got to be like one of 10 people in the world that haven't seen a single episode of Game of Thrones.
I didn't watch much of it. I read the books that are out, but he takes like 85 years to write a book, so we'll never see the actual ending other than the show. Okay, sorry.
Wait, that's not the canon ending? He's not going to adapt his work to fit the show? No?
He probably will, because he seems like a lazy piece of crap.
Actually, I'll probably change it because they found people who went, "What the hell?"
That's true.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started out well. Dice are not going in jail. 655.
Nice. You bet. What twist do you want for that as the ironbound guns cool off and spin back around outside the tower? And they walk towards you slowly.
I want them to push me the cart full of stuff that they were about to get rid of, the old guns and stuff like that.
You bet.
And say, okay, here you go. Take the whole thing. That's what I would like.
You bet. They push that towards you. They say, you make a great point. We are afraid. And perhaps we are not the warriors we thought we were. That aside, we are not comfortable with you having fire inside the town. If and when we adapt to the use of fire, we will do that on our terms.
I'm giving you that option. They're inert as they are. If you rub them together, that's when they cause fire.
And where did you get these fire starting marbles?
I took them from the jackasses up there.
And you're confident that they're safe?
Mm-hmm. So long as you don't do this, and I will rub a couple together. So long as you don't do that, there's nothing to worry about. When you want to start learning, this is what you do. Start small, have a little water just in case.
You
learn
watch
at your
a
own
couple
pace.
Sounds good. You watch a couple of the Ironbound in the back go get your friends and bring them to you. They don't like hurt you or anything. They just kind of gather you up and like, how do I say this? Impolitely escort you.
I'm pretty sure we were sleeping. So we're just coming like, what's going on?
They impolitely escort you. They don't touch you, but then they don't rush you directly. Do that thing where they hover over you and make you feel uncomfortable. I don't know if any of you are immune to that, but I'm certainly not. Like that feeling when somebody's reading over your shoulder and you're like, "Okay, go away. I know we're in the same room, but buzz off." They'll apologize. They were like, "You have an impressive leader out there, our apologies. No one's going to take offense if they call Jacob White the leader.
Not here.
Nopales, come shine my buckle. I'm just kidding.
It's like also as they're coming into our space, all I can think is Rick and Morty. 1, stay out of my personal space. 2, this is my personal space. 3, stay out of my personal space. 4.
I'm reminded of what was it? But the thing that carries the butter, the little.
What is my purpose? You carry butter. What else? That's it. Oh God.
Yeah, welcome to the answer club, fella. Imagine, like, a friend of mine pitched that not that long ago. What if the point of the human existence is just to ponder on what their existence is? Like, mission accomplished. The first time you go, what's it all about, man? That's it. Like, it doesn't
as far as we can go.
Yeah, right. Good for you. You've put in more introspection than like any other species on the planet. Good for you. You've also done way more damage than any other species on the planet as a species. So mixed bag.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah, right.
But you know what?
Huh.
We didn't get the instruction manual at the beginning. So
yeah, and that's so not fair.
You didn't?
Are you kidding? I just figured out I'm an adult the other day. And I'm still not sure how I feel about that. I'm like, wait, but no.
Yeah, it's hard realizing you're a grown-ass man or grown-ass woman.
Yeah. I'm like, what the crap?
When shit starts hurting for
yeah,
no
my
reason
back
at
hurts
all.
all the time, at least a little bit, all the time.
And when you do something and you're not sore for like 2 days or 3 days instead of beating the next day and just being over with, that's when you know it's starting to turn. Anywho.
So they apologize and they ask they don't just say they're sorry. They ask you for your collective forgiveness. That they have been short-sighted, that having one of their own check them like that has showcased that perhaps they were a bit judgmental, and they would like to make it up to you, and they're not sure how to do that because they've never, as a group, considered the feelings of people who aren't ironbound before, and they would like to start over if you'd let them do that.
Map would go a long way.
Conopside's game. She's like, yeah, fork over map, jackass, and we're square.
Conopside says map, and Ozeta's like, yeah.
A map of this region?
Yeah.
And they look depressed and they go, we can't do that. Not that we won't, we would. We don't have a map.
I'd like to take a look at your guns.
Please?
Oh, I've got a cart full of them. Don't worry.
The underground here changes and it literally convulses and rides so often that a map would be an utter waste of time. We will, however, get you in touch with our scouts who keeps tabs on it on as close to real-time basis as we can get. We'll be happy to share our information with you, but we don't have a map.
I'd actually like to take a look at their big guns that they have, and possibly you said that they don't turn all the way in.
They're not supposed to. More like, so the way I picture it is 2 big metal bumps with giant cannons that come out of them, like auto guns from Star Wars, that point out like this and rotated in. You heard a lot of crunching and squeaking. It sounds like while they are designed to do that, they basically never do. Like so much so that they forgot about it and built wooden framing up and over them that they went right through when the gun turned around. Excuse me.
Look at their guns to kind of figure out how they're designed, and then as payback, try to fix them for them.
A very complicated series of clockwork parts. What they shoot is big, heavy. What does that amount to staples? They come in 2 sizes, which you can change in the gun. All the staples are preloaded in there at the same time. One that's wider and one that's narrower. Whether or not you use that to pin or to pierce is totally up to you.
Okay. So do I need to roll to try to fix them, I guess?
Are the guns red? And do they swing in a line?
Sure. Why?
Do we need to burn the building down?
Did I miss something?
I actually watched that 2 nights ago.
I feel like I missed something.
Red swing line stapler.
Okay. Wait, swing along like the brand? I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah. That's you said they shoot staples, so
they shoot what is basically a giant staple. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just making a stapler joke.
The narrowest of the staples is 4 feet wide. Like they're big, Pearson things. The edges of them will dig pretty deep. There was a sharp enough, they'll probably dig into metal if absolutely necessary.
Nice.
To fix them, I got a 6.431.
You bet. You patch them with no problems. The guns themselves, you find a manuscript in there for how you might not necessarily. It's old. It's worn with time, but you might be able to. You can probably piece together. How to build a smaller version of the same thing. You'll need the materials, but you could totally outfit one of those on the ship.
Okay.
Joaquin, what do you think?
I just want some guns.
You just want some. I see.
I'm looking for a blunderbuss right now.
Okay, you bet. So I think I reached out to each of you after last time, and we all talked about a thing that you might want to find in the cart. Assume you find that in the cart, because I can't wait to see what you do with all of that. Unless, of course, the thing you asked for was a map, because they don't have one. So
Joaquin,
right.
the blunderbuss that he finds, and he's going to start cleaning it immediately. He's going to sit cross-legged right where he is.
Flop it on the floor and start working on it.
Breaking it down and cleaning all the individual parts and everything.
Nice. Kanosai, what do you think?
I am thrilled. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but it's going to be cool.
Awesome. You bet. Ozetta, they don't have a map to give you. What can they, do?
Well, as we're digging through some stuff, I find this like what looks to be something a little pre-V, just a little handle with a button on the side. When I push it, a blade flips out of it. Ooh. It's like, oh, push it back down, flicks it back out. I like this.
Like a switchblade?
A little switchblade. I assume nice. She just finds like something like that to use. That'd be something she would be more interested in.
Ooh. Right. So one of the Ironbound goes, that has the same smell to it that we fished a whole pile of shit like that out of a building not that far from here. It sank recently, but we can still get to it. We found a path. We'll be happy to take you there. And one of them comes out of a nearby building with like an old bread box, an actual bread box. Wooden, it's got a knob on the front. You pull it up, it slides up kind of into itself, as opposed to like swinging open. And inside of it is what would appear to be a slinky, one of those old-fashioned like Nerf squirt guns, only it's very small, and a red plastic sphere about this big. You touch it, it's definitely rubber.
These are awesome.
The greatest thing in the world is a slinky. Right.
Yeah.
I never understood the joy of those. Perhaps because the house I grew up in did not have stairs.
Here you go, Gunther. Knock yourself out.
I had a slinky and a set of stairs, but the steps on the stairs were too wide for the slinky to go from one to the other, so it would just go down one step, and I'd have to reset it. It's really sad.
Bummer.
Also, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think a slinky lasted about a week in our house before somebody bent it.
Yeah, and they don't work once you bend them. Yeah.
So, super fun fact. You know the Star Wars blaster sound?
Yeah.
That's made by them taking a slinky, putting it on a styrofoam cup, and then hitting it with a mallet, stretching it out, and that makes a little.
No kidding.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. I used to know most of the sounds that went into the clang on Law and Order. That is, how much individual noises they crammed together to make that? Holy crap.
It was like 30 or something.
Yeah, one of them is many, many monks walking across a courtroom floor.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's awful specific.
Someone who just finished a semester in sound design for film, it's insane. I solidified the idea that I'm never ever going to be in sound design. I will stick to other paths I have such a deep respect for those guys because it's insane what they do.
And I mean, that sound is permanent, right? Like that's a deep in the brain, man. I teach narrative techniques sometimes for the table. Depends on what you want to do, right? Not every table is the same, but some people want traditional narrative structure. And one way to do that is the scene cut. And for some reason, people don't understand that when I pitch and I go, the clang, and they go, oh, right. Why didn't you say so? Like, scene change, buddy. Like, and the severed head was found in the elevator shaft, turned to a new camera. Back to you, June, just like that. Right.
UIST. You mean the severed? Sorry.
Yeah, right. You what? Right. So, Ozetta, they hand you a pile of stuff, and they offer to take you and Connor side and whoever else wants to go to the sunken building. They go. It's huge. It has this weird. It's much longer than it is tall, and it has this weird. It looks like a human face, but the nose is enormous and bright red. And they have these weird stalks of hair on the side of their head that shoot out at an angle. They're bright green. We've never actually seen a person like that.
Can we go?
Yeah, let's go.
I would like to go to there.
Like, are the rest of you going with them, or do you have different plans? I imagine Kano side. Joaquin is just sitting there cleaning his gun.
He's like not even aware of what's going on around him.
More preview shit to make bullshit out of? Yes, please.
Like a kid playing Nintendo on the floor.
Yeah,
on the weekend. Unaware of everything else around.
Right, he's this close to the TV screen. It's wider than he is, and he doesn't care. Right.
But I like to think that unless you guys just like break him out of his like little zen or whatever, he's just probably going to sit there until he's done cleaning the gun. And if you don't get him, then he'll ask like where you went, and he'll follow along. So he'll show up a little bit later.
Sounds good.
I would like to step into the assembly line and get the crap that the soldiers were getting on them.
You bet.
Whatever all is involved in that, and then I'll accompany them on the journey.
Sounds good.
I would definitely grab Joaquin because he's the one that keeps us safe at long range.
Not right now, he doesn't.
And not with a blunderbuss.
Yeah, that too.
But I just like 10 more minutes, please.
Okay.
The Ironbound, excuse me, the Ironbound decide that you're clearly unique people. And that you have taken interest in things that they found completely worthless. The gun they're afraid of, right? But the rubber ball and the slinky, they don't understand how come you care. So they kind of like little kids. They poke and they ask and they go, what's the point?
I mean, it's all ancient world stuff. I mean, who knows what they use these for? I mean, she picks up the Nerf gun and goes, this isn't even a real gun. Like, what is this for training children? Is this for training soldiers? Was there a great like non-lethal war that they had? Like, why did they have
Yeah, there's a little
this?
orange felt like there's a couple of darts in it. You know what I mean? Like the little orange suction cup thing.
What conflicts did this like resolve? Who knows?
Who stole whose last bagel? That's what it resolved. Like
the great sibling wars of 2002.
That's right. And they take they take the slinky and they go, we don't what? And they just hand it back to you.
Oh, no one's made a gif of this. Okay.
I
guess there would be that question of how much we actually know about this stuff too, or if I should just start making up.
By
stuff.
all means, make it up. I'm picturing
so Ozetta takes it and puts it over her hand and goes, look, it's a bracelet that goes all the way up.
Nice. I'm picturing that the average person, there might be the occasional historian. It's going to sound like a weird reference. Have you seen Thundar the Barbarian? No, of course not. Bummer. What a great cartoon. So Thundar the Barbarian is basically Conan, right? Sword and sorcery Conan. Only his name is Thundar because it's ridiculous. And I want to say the year, so this cartoon comes out before the 90s, and it pitches that in the year 1994, Essentially the planet undergoes a giant metamorphosis, that the ozone layer is ripped from the surface of our world, and that the moon is split in half, and that humanity goes into this deep recession for like a long ass time. And when it comes out the other end, there's like magic and super science, because that's a word what the hell is that? And sorcery and a pile of other crap. And that Ariel, who is Thundar's like magical assistant, because it's an old cartoon and women can't be main characters, what the hell? Is like very aware of the world around her, where it used to be. She like, and this was a bus station, and this was a depot, and this was an amusement park. And he's like, what the hell are those? And she has to rattle those off one at a time. But she's like one person in a whole world of people who would otherwise be like Ariel from The Little Mermaid, who doesn't know what a fork is, right? Like I kind of figured that the difference between pre-V and today, that's the difference. You might have the occasional historian who's probably still guessing and would spend a fortune on pre-V like paperwork, like information, like a muffin recipe and how to use it. Shit, right? Like, but barring something like that, guesswork. So what's the rubber ball for?
Oh, I just assume this is for some sort of child entertainment. Look, it bounces. I mean, easily keep kids entertained.
Yeah.
She's still got the slinky just all the way up her arm.
You say kids, I'm a grown ass man. You throw a bouncy ball in my house and we're like,
be like a cat.
Yeah, right. So a couple minutes go by. Joaquin finishes playing with his blunderbuss. Sorry. And you move on from there to the building. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. You advance out of the village gate. They go with you, right? And they are very deliberate to match their stride so they don't end up in front of you. And their strides are much longer than most of yours, and they deliberately check themselves to stay with you. You head out over a flat plain. The whole thing has been pounded flat, like something very heavy mushed it many times. It's brown with lots of, so the dirt itself is brown. And it's stuck to what looks like old dead vines that have fallen down from above, fallen where they were, and then essentially been pressed into brown pavement. There are huge holes here and there that just fall through to who knows where. The Ironbound have gone out of their way to try and set up wooden barricades around the edges of that, but we're talking, a railing on a highway. It's not going to stop you if you really want to go over the side of it. You walk across that for 20 minutes, another 20 minutes. And this is pretty much all it is. A big, giant, windy, flat, brown plain with big holes in it. And above you, way above you, can see the elder vines and a couple of those like evidence of the plant creatures you saw before. When the Ironbound see them, they don't stress. At further analysis, they look like they've been rotted in place. Something has killed them and right where they were. You eventually come across a large hole right in your way, and the Ironbound stop and they go, "That was not there yesterday. We should turn back."
What do you think made it?
We're not sure anything made it. Sometimes the vines just give way. The ground is not, honestly, it's not structurally stable. Sometimes the vines fell, sometimes they fall some more. If something did make it, whatever it is, it can fly.
Well, the instability might be a problem for you, being that you're so much larger, but I don't think I would unsettle the vines. Where do we go from here?
If you were going to go on without us, you would want to clear the hole. The hole's about 40 feet long, and only like 15 feet wide. It's a very squarish hole. Rectangular, I guess, is more apt. And they go, if you were going to go on without us, you would cross this. And while you could walk around it, we would not recommend that unless you're really confident that you won't disturb the vines. We actually think it's much safer for you to create some sort of contraption to get across. But you're the special people. If you were going to go on without us, you would want to either go around or across this. If you want to swing around, you can. If you go left or right enough that you encounter the green trees, you have stopped. Don't go any farther than that. We've painted those. The creatures beyond the forest line are not safe for anybody, not even you. So if you're going to cross, and then continue until you see the large root. You can't miss it. It's carved into this weird, picture the hill from Nightmare Before Christmas, the like curlicue like that. And they go, the building sank, creating that on its way down. There's a weird metal frill that hangs off the top of the building. You should be able to see it from the hill. If you can't, that's because it fell farther than that, at which point we can't help you. We are going to go back and make sure, retrace our steps and make sure that the structure underneath the town remains stable.
Okay.
Okay.
And they turn around and leave you in the windy plains of rotted vines. Amber, is there a foot behind you?
Yep.
Okay, just check.
Yep, that's my boyfriend.
I see.
He's got his foot propped up.
There is more. I was gonna say he's alive, right? There's more than just a foot.
It's more than just a foot, right?
Wait.
I'm picturing the scene from Toy
Bonk,
Story.
bonk.
Oh, good. He's
Yes.
alive.
Yep.
I'm picturing the arm scene from Toy Story. Now what?
What do you guys
Well-
think about going forward? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm for it, but I don't want to force anybody to go that's not comfortable.
Why not?
Push him.
Push him down the stairs.
So just to clarify, there's supposed to be cool shit down there, right?
Yes.
What they say.
Well, preview shit. Whether or not that's cool, you know.
No, that's cool shit. Yeah, we're
I
good.
see. All right.
All right. How does anybody propose we get across a 15-foot hole?
Do you have that Nerf gun still?
I do.
What?
I have a slingshot as well, if that helps.
It shoots little peanut butter buckeyes. I don't know.
I mean, I know that it's probably not going to have nearly enough power. Like if I was going to amp up the air pressure to have it actually rope across the hole. But
Did I hear you right? You're going to take apart a Nerf gun and
I've got-
increase the air pressure.
do you have any more? Or sorry, Jacobite. Do you have any more of the marbles?
Oh yeah, I didn't give them all away. Here, and I'll give you the remaining 3/4 of the sack because I only gave him a handful.
So I'm actually going to just make a quick sort of combustion chamber to just shoot a rope out with the Nerf gun as sort of the frame of it, which is a terrible idea, but I love it. So.
It is. It's a terrible
I was gonna say,
idea.
there's this part of me like, oh, I hope that anchors. Guess we'll find out.
Roll for it.
Are there any cuts on this? I feel like there should be cuts on this.
Oh yeah, a cut of one. Actually, you know what? A cut of two. You were trying to make a flaming projectile
Out of a
grappling
plastic
what's it,
thing.
out of a plastic children's toy. That is a cut of
Here we
two.
go.
Like,
Not bad.
no kidding.
5-3. So with a cut of 2, that takes the 6s out. I still have a 5 and a 3.
No kidding. So you actually make the shot, but the gun fucking melts. Like, so you-
Thankfully, she had 2.
right. No kidding.
Just change that to melted Nerf gun.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you've got a bit of blue plastic left in the orange bit that now says Earth, and that's pretty much all you've got.
Close enough. So how sturdy does this rope look?
That depends on what you tie it to. The rope looks fine. Did I hear you say you wanted that to be on fire? Did I hear that right?
No. I was using the fire to basically to give it enough oomph to get across the hole.
Oh, I see. Okay, you bet. Yeah. The rope right shoots out of the gun, the little flaming belt, and plugs into the roots across the way. So you have what amounts to a tightrope. That's good and stable as long as you mount it good on this end.
We had 2 people that were really good at things like that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like he's talking about you two.
Joaquin puts his gun up and he's like, okay, and just starts going across.
You bet. Kanos, are you going with him?
Yeah.
You bet. The two of you get across the rope underneath your weight a little bit, but I mean that's normal, right? It would be less normal if it didn't, like if it was like stone. You get across to the other end. As you walk across, would the two of you make perception rolls? Assuming you look down anyway.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Joaquin's definitely going to be looking down.
See, I would not. Not a chance in hell.
Michael would not. Joaquin will, though.
Yeah, you got to know where you're gonna fall if you end up losing your footing.
You don't though. Like,
yeah,
I don't
you
think
do.
it's
You got to catch
concerted.
yourself.
I don't think it's concerned until you're falling. At which point,
thinking ahead.
I would be a terrible carpenter.
I've got 6, 4, and 4.
Nice, you bet.
Okay, and I've got 6, 5, 5.
Nice, you bet. So you both see that below you there is like an endless whooshing void of air. You don't see a bottom. You're not even sure there is one. But you do see black shapes that flut back and forth like huge bats, but they float. They don't flap. Closer to a manta ray than a bat. You each have a narrative twist. Joaquin, you first. What do you want to do?
I'm just gonna pass on this one.
Okay,
I think
sure.
that anything needs to happen for mine because I rolled a little bit lower than she did.
Kind of side, you want to do something?
I would like to use my luminous patches to try to shed a little light down beneath us to see if I can make anything out.
Sounds good. You see the very edges of the iron roots. It looks like they go through the surface of the planet, what's left of it anyway, and then into empty air below them. Which means if they draw nutrients through the roots, they're getting it from the air. Like the iron roots aren't set into dirt. And those creatures underneath them look very much like big leathery manta rays that are not quite black, more like a rich chocolatey brown, that flap back and forth, that are at one point, one of them will flip over for just a second as it continues to fly and then flip back the way it came when it flies underneath you. When it flips over, the top of it's just like a leather shoe. There's really nothing, no distinction. When it flips over, there's what is clearly 2 nasal holes that breathe in deep. It must have smelled you. And you know what an octopus's mouth looks like? Like that. Right underneath the nasal hole. It doesn't come towards you or anything. It does a quick pass underneath you and then continues on, flipping back over. So it's just leather again. Suffice to say, you should probably not drop.
Hey, it might even be great if you just have bullet points.
So you get across. Now what? That gets the 2 of you across, not your friends across. That rope will absolutely not hold Jacobite. Not a chance in hell.
It's
What
okay.
if-
I've been standing there the whole time with my grappling hook in my hand.
Oh,
Wait,
good.
I was gonna say, what if we tied the rope around Jacobite, Napoleus, and I go across, and you jump and we pull you across as hard as we can? But if you have a grappling hook, using that as well.
What if you are the grappling hook?
If anybody comes after that baby, and I'll go down.
Yeah, how about y'all just go ahead and go across and then we'll figure me out.
Psychos on your side, it's fine.
All right. I guess I'll go.
Yeah, same.
Sounds good. So now I'm not gonna be roll for that. The 2 of you cross without
Oh,
any
But they're kind of
problems.
lazy and don't-
I mean, the rope's nice and stable. If Jacobite wants to cross the rope, I'm gonna have him roll for that for sure.
But yeah, no,
Once the 2 of you cross, now what?
you can handle it.
He can go around, there's
You
enough
got a big
like
boy,
space
you better
around the
shoot it,
edges
that's all
of
you
it
focus on.
that he can go around it. They just suggested he not, that you not go too far out. There were trees at the edge of the plane that are painted. Not go further than that. You could just walk around the hole.
Night beds.
I think that would be something that I would do.
Walk
Okay,
around.
Yeah.
you bet.
Watch everybody do the stupid stuff and go.
Do. Would you make a perception roll as you, well, maybe not. Do you go left or right around the pit?
Trying to remember the explanation.
So you've got a pit in front of you that's like 40 feet in a straight line and only about 15 feet wide. It's pretty square for a natural hole. And then the forest, which is just the base of the iron roots, there's really no greenery in it, even though the Ironbound called it that. It's closer to that than anything else. Are another 60 or 70 feet on either side, which is to say this vast brown plain has sort of tapered into something closer to a peninsula the more this way that you came. You can see the green painted trees from here. They're really bright, like neon.
And is there any more space, open space on either side?
Of the trees? Absolutely.
Of the hole.
Yeah, so you could totally walk around it. The roots there, the ground is woven roots caked in brown dirt. They don't look super stable, but they're more stable than empty air.
All right, let's go left.
You can hear them going shh and like wiggling as with the wind down here. You want to go left, you bet. Yeah. When you step on the vines, they start to crinkle a little bit. Snap is probably an appropriate word. You can make it across, but it's like in the video games where you take the first step and the whole fucking platform starts to fall apart. Run.
Yep.
Roll for it.
Okay. Thankfully, I have wave walk, so that helps.
Oh, good. I love that the big chunky ship man has wave walk.
I know. I thought that would be funny.
Well, if he's made from a ship, he's used to going across the treetops anyway.
Yeah, right.
3, 4, 5.
Ooh. A 5. That's not terrible.
It's not great, but it's not terrible.
Right. So you make it across, but you ruin all the branches on the way through. You're not coming back across the way you came.
Sorry, guys.
That's right. It's more important you made it.
Yeah, right.
And it's really only a problem for you, so you don't have to apologize.
That's true. Isn't it lovely that your leader made it? Aren't y'all so happy?
Yeah. I'm waiting for somebody to be like, about that.
Yeah.
Like you hear the cracking of knuckles.
That's totally a joke that I would make, that Jacobite would make.
So from here, right, it's more unstable roots, but it looks like because of that hole punch that most of the roots that were super unstable, broke, right? So the ones you've got left are durable than the rest of them. Once you get away from the sort of weak spot that the hole makes, it's another 10 minutes before you're looking at that weirdly unique hill. And there is a huge building made out of brick that's maybe 60 feet down from here. It's a pretty straight drop hanging off the edge of the hill. You can see some paint on the edge of the hill that's bright white. And you can see there's what looks like a human face painted on metal. 2 like conic stretches of hair that come out like this, they green, and a huge red nose on the incredibly pale-faced human with a stripe of paint missing up the forehead. Below that, there's signs broken, so you don't have the whole thing, but there's an O, an N, a Z, an O, an apostrophe, another piece of the sign that is missing, and below that it says toys.
As Ozetta sees this face, she her ink spots are like vibrating. She's so excited. She's like, "That is the most horrifying thing I've ever seen."
The mouth on the human is the doorway for the building. Like you're gonna walk through the teeth.
That's
to go
so
through
much
the front door.
worse. Let's go.
Oh, that's so much worse. That's great. You can drop the way you can drop forward and go through the tooth front door, but there's also a hole in the roof that you could fall into.
Are we above the building or are we
You
on the
are
ground
above
of the
building, about 60 feet up above the building.
Okay.
The hole in the roof is on the back end of it. You are by the front door. The roof looks pretty stable. It's got this big metal box on top of it with a bunch of vents on the side of it.
Yeah, I feel like Joaquin would take the rooftop route.
Okay, you bet.
I'm also going to go to the roof.
You bet. How are you going to get there from here?
How far down is it?
About 60 feet, give or take.
Oh.
Let's see.
So how far? Because it's okay. So you said like the hill that we're on kind of has like a curl underneath it.
Right. On it, like just like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
So you're standing, I figure, from where the top of the curl, the last edge you can stand on without the trees, without the hill sort of giving way underneath you. I can't imagine the end of that hill is particularly stable. So you're standing on the edge where it is stable. The building is like 60 feet down. The front door is 60 feet down. So they're kind of flush with each other because the edge of the curly Q has paint that got ripped off it by the sign. It has paint from the sign that ripped off when it fell down. It looks like the building was ground level with you at one point, and when it ripped away, it did that to the hill.
Okay, so it's about 60 feet down. I was wondering because if that curly Q goes underneath, I was curious how far it was between the bottom of the curly Q and
if
the top of the
you could get
roof.
to the bottom of the curly Q is pretty noticeable. It's a piece of what's that? It's grass, but you buy it in a big roll and you roll it on sod. Thank you. You're looking at a big, like, ripped curly Q of sod. It's pretty long. It's not it's not super stable, but I mean, yeah, you're gonna get one rip, right? The sod's gonna rip when you use it, but you can use it. Like a one-time break fall type deal. If you get to the bottom of the sod before it rips, you're probably gonna close that gap by like 20 feet, maybe more if you can get it to fully like straighten out before it rips.
Don't really have a lot of useful stuff.
Well, good. That's where the outside the box gameplay comes from.
While we're thinking, I'm going to make a prediction of what's going to happen.
Okay, before you do that, Kanosai. Oh, never mind. That's the prediction. I see.
There's a building there, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that artifact that we got last session that made me grow really big.
Oh boy.
Who has that?
Ooh. I don't remember. Who ended up with that?
Well, let's just say that you have it.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember anyone else taking it.
Yeah. I think
sounds good to me.
Nopales had it because it was an artifact of the man.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's following our lead, so you could probably ask him for it. He would begrudgingly give it to you.
As long as you promise to give it back.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to I haven't really experimented with it a lot, but I'm going to try to only make like my left arm really like thick and long and reach down to the building.
3B, like roll for it.
Okay, what exactly am I rolling? Just
I'm not sure. What do you think applies to? So what you're trying to do is to will the object to behave in a way that you're not entirely sure it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So
well, I don't know what it's supposed to do at all. So
do you have sharps anywhere?
I do. I do have sharps.
That's a good one. Go with
definitely use sharps.
Definitely use your rolls that like let you access your brain. Everything from raw intelligence to like tinkering with things.
Okay, I have outwit, and that's I have study, I guess, but I don't know if that would really help.
I'd go with study over outwit in this case.
Okay, all right, we'll try.
I'm not sure it counts as outwitting when I run into a computer error and I find a way around it. I'm not sure that counts.
Do you by any chance have sense?
If it does, I'm much smarter than I give me credit for.
I do have delve. Let's just do.
I'd go with delve because so from here you have to estimate exactly the distance you want, right? And this is weird terrain. If you're at like the bottom of hell, if this doesn't count for delving, I'm not sure what does.
Okay, so I'm gonna use delve, study, and sharps.
Sounds good.
I got oh no.
Oh no.
3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
Ooh. So your arm extends and then you blow a chunk of it off. You hyperextend and your arm kind of swells and pops like a zip. Feel free to take a burn to one of your. You're right over there, Jacob. Take a burn mark to one of your tracks. Burn is different than damage. Damage you can heal just by like taking a break. Burn is like aggravated damage from White Wolf. It's not permanent, but you take much more work to fix it.
Okay.
Your armor works. It just hurts like crazy.
Got it. Well, that didn't work.
Oh. I'm picturing that in my head that you kind of like, ew, like blood and pus and.
I'll just go, oh.
Oh. I'm picturing the noises that hell's his name, Peter Griffin makes. Ooh.
That's it. You got to make us fight a chicken at some point.
And make it be the longest battle we have in the entire game.
It's intense as shit. Like
why'd you fight him? Chicken gave me a bad coupon.
And I love how he says that. That'll explain everything away that all those office workers just saw. They watched a grown man crack through a window with a chicken and beat him to death. He goes, chicken gave me a faulty coupon. Like that's good enough. What? Yeah. Anyway, now what? It's not that, I mean, you'll probably survive the drop if you just drop.
You say probably until we all roll
it's
one.
about 60 feet to the roof, right?
Yeah.
So Joaquin, being a shankling and kind of being used to being up in the treetops, and tell me if this is a ridiculous idea.
Yes, it is.
Any more ridiculous than trying to grow your arm with a thing you don't really know how it works?
It just might be. It would be feasible to say that being a shankling, he would have experience maybe like gliding along the treetops.
Okay.
So what his idea is to run as far as he can to close the distance and then jump. And he's going to use his cloak. He's going to grab two sides with his hands, and he's going to use his fungal tendril to create a triangular parachute almost out of his cloak and try to glide down a little bit to kind of lessen the impact and hopefully negate the damage.
Sounds good. Yeah, roll for it. If you fail badly, like if the highest thing you get is a 3, you're going to get blown off course. The wind down here is intense because there's absolutely nothing to stop the wind from whipping all over the place.
Okay.
It's not particularly loud, but it is very fast.
I have leap times 3.
Nice.
Wave walk times 3. I'm just going to use 6 because I'm also going to use instinct for this, and then my fungal tendril.
Nice.
So.
Ow.
Okay. Pretty good. 2 6s, a 5, and 2 4s.
Nice. You bet. So yeah, you back up, you run forward, you do that thing where you fly through the air with the crazy like 80s, and then you snap out the parachute and you use the tendril and you with the cloak. I'm picturing the cloak from Breath of the Wild or Builders, if you played that first like I did. And where do you've got a narrative twist in there.
I would like to think that I'm able to control my figure after a few seconds of falling and kind of gauging the winds and stuff. I'm able to kind of guide myself a little closer to where I want to end up, so I don't have I can land pretty close to the hole that I'm going to drop down into.
You bet. When you land on the roof, you land very close to silently, right? You're like, that's it. And you hear what sounds like chittering and squeaking and scratching. The sound like mice, but bigger than that. Do you look inside the hole?
Yes.
You bet. You see, they look like rats, except they're like twice the size of your average house cat. And while they have they're all rat, long, elongated face, right? Their hands are definitely humanoid in nature. And they are busy literally disassembling the building. Like they've got little, it looks like a plastic handle. It's got bevels in it, and it ends in a long metal rod with a weird end. And they're busy shoving it into the little plated bits. It's a screwdriver, and they're busy taking the building apart, one bolt at a time.
So
you count at least 6 of them that you can see, but the hole's not that big. and the amount of noise they're making, there's got to be more than that in the building.
Okay. Without making a sound, I'm going to turn back to the group and just kind of mime as well as I can what I see, and I'll roll for that with some cuts if I need to.
Do you know signaling?
Yeah, how would you do that? Like, how would you mime rat with human hands?
I don't know if I would so much mime rat, but I would just try to mime that there's something there.
Oh, I see. Like possible threats.
Yeah, I don't know signaling, unfortunately.
Feel free to roll for it anyway. I'm just going to have you have a cut on that.
Okay.
Maybe not. I mean, have you done this before?
I mean, I feel like we're experienced together, but I'm willing to take a cut just to make it interesting.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
There's room for misinterpretation.
Yeah. Right.
I got a 5 and a 3.
Nice. You bet. So you successfully communicate to them that there are creatures down there. And while you do that, you lurch forward for a second, you lose your balance for a second. You don't make a lot of noise, which is to say you don't like blow your stealth. But the creatures inside, you kick up some dust from here and it falls inside, and the creatures all and they vanish into the building, and the building immediately goes silent. You're pretty sure that they don't know, like they're not alone so much as maybe they're afraid of dust.
Yeah. Okay.
They're in the building. They're just not, attacking you. That is terrifying.
I don't believe they exist.
What, those things?
Rogues of unusual size?
I was picturing Splinter from the terribly cheesy first TMNT movie.
Okay, so real Splinter, or like what he was kind of kidified down to?
Visually Splinter from the movie.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Like my favorite Splinter is, favorite Splinter is definitely comic book Splinter, who when his kids, like, I you know this, but there's a bit where the TMNT go to another dimension and they come home and they're immediately beset by a dude in a creepy mask who beats the crap out of them frequently until Leonardo finally has enough and whoops his ass and takes his mask off, and it's Splinter. And he's like, what the hell? And he goes, what, man? You've been gone for a while. Things have changed. I need to make sure you're up to the task. You weren't. Now you are. Because that's what good parents do. They beat their kids when they come home, like from a long journey.
But did they die?
I mean, technically, no.
Did it make them ready for the task?
No, it covered them in bruises and dents and crap.
Well, then it was poor parenting.
Or maybe they were just too soft.
Yeah, right. Because that's what you do. You beat your kids when they're gone for a while into literally who knows where. You don't go, oh my God, I'm glad you're home safe. You beat their ass with a stick.
All right, because we're on YouTube, we are not condoning the beating of children.
Yeah, right. Don't do that. Definitely sarcasm, not
also,
okay.
I would like to
sarcasm and big
letters. Does not have any children to abuse. So
do not beat your children with sticks, whether or not they have gone on a long journey or not. Just don't do that. It's not okay.
Oh God.
Anyway, so you're looking down at this store. Joaquin mimes to you that do you from there want to tell them that the rats have scattered? I'm not going to re-roll again for that. I didn't know if you had like a follow-up mime.
No, I'm just gonna kind of do the shh symbol to them.
Speaking of people who almost never shh, Nopales, what do you think?
Well, I mean, we guys go to my general standby, and that is stuff on fire.
Oh! You missed my crystal ball moment a second ago. Here, let me put it back.
Now that's a shingled roof. This is a factory. It doesn't have a shingled roof.
That's the closest I could get.
You can't find a burning warehouse? Come on.
It's as close as I can get in that amount of time.
However, However, given that would probably not be the safest thing to us, I'm going to just wait and see if anybody else has a better idea than that.
Okay. Kano side, what do you think? You got an idea?
On how to get down?
Yeah.
Oh, I tried my idea.
Oh no, Polly's missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty terrible. I exploded my arm.
Oh.
Let's see. Are there any like vines or anything reaching down towards it?
So there, you don't have any vines from like roots, but the hill itself is soft enough that you might be able to sort of make some. So the sod on the edge here, right, makes that little curly cube, but the sod on the rest of the hill, it has taken root and is, I mean, they're going to be single-use vines, but you could totally use them, or I mean, you could weave them together and make something more elaborate and sturdier for it.
Okay, I will try to make one of these single-use vines and get down as far as I can, and then just trust that I can make the landing.
Okay, you bet. So you rip up some sod, you kind of make a long strip of it, and you kind of look like, okay, I'm gonna need to rip up that much, and you kind of pull on it once. You're like, yeah, that's like nature's carpet. That'll hold. Yeah, sure. I mean, the one time, but I only need to get down there the one time. Roll for the jump.
All right.
Try not to die. I mean, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine. Absolutely. Let's do. Okay. Five, 2, 2, 6.
Nice. All right. So you stick the landing. How like soft? How much does Kanosai weigh? Are you? Would you consider yourself to be a light and quiet kind of character?
Yes, very much so. Kanosai is quite small and fungus.
Right. So you like throwing a pillow on top of a made bed. There's probably some sound, but I didn't hear it, and I'm the one who threw the pillow. Right. You land on top of the building. Nothing. You hear that you and Joaquin hear the tiniest, like, that's a terrible example. You know what I mean? Like when a washing machine sounds like when it needs to be fixed, that mechanical like squeal that machines make when they really need to be oiled. Mm-hmm. You hear that. It's very faint, but it's coming from within the building, and it wasn't a couple of seconds ago. Ozetta, what do you think? Are you getting down there? How are you getting down there?
Ozetta is somewhat impatient. So while Kanosai is making their vine, I'm just gonna jump.
What?
So I guess quick question. Fall damage is blunt damage, right?
Yes.
I'm resistant to that. So she's just gonna jump.
Right, because you're gonna go and then like reform.
My bones are replaceable.
Without major surgery, even.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be using some of my gray sense and stuff that makes it so.
You're gonna take a cut of one though. That's a deliberate.
Yeah.
Like you're like, it's pavement. Screw it.
Let's just go for it. 6-6-3-3.
No kidding.
So a cut of a 6-3-3.
You make the landing. What kind of narrative twist do you want? Do you make noise when you splat like that?
Oh, I'm gonna assume it's not noiseless completely, but for those that are down there, because I'm a gross jelly person, as I land, you notice like the driftwood kind of comes out of my skin and goes back in to slow me down.
It's super gross.
Kind of
so gross. Jacobite really does go.
I'm made for this. Yeah.
That's nasty.
As I land, a superhero landing.
Nice. Splat. Was that the narrative twist? The bones kind of crapping out of you for a second?
Yeah, so that's kind of what slowed me down enough that I didn't take too much hurt. I mean, I suppose I could take some because I did jump 60 feet, but that's where the blunt resistance of that comes from.
Yeah, right. So you splat into the thing, you watch what amount to your bones come out for a second and then sort of go back in. Now, did you want to get on top of the building?
Yeah, so I'm just getting with Joaquin and kind of side.
You bet. So the front door is accessible. The building isn't floating in empty air. There's the very bottom of the iron roots. It's caught in them. It's probably not going anywhere. Getting back up is going to be a problem. But you could probably just shake this building and it's not going anywhere. And the front door is accessible. There's enough old dirt stuck to the front of it that you could hop down from here and land in front of those teeth if you wanted to. Jacobite, what's the plan? You're the big heavy one. And Joaquin was like, be very quiet.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
That ain't happening.
I was hoping we'd just forget about me.
You wish.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'm picturing this as some version of Ozetta's jelly farm.
I'm a gelatinous cube with bones, man, made of wood.
Is the giant sod roll still there?
You have enough to work with, yeah.
Nobody's really used it, right?
The giant sod roll in front of you, the curly cue? Yeah. No one's used that.
Well, not much else I can do, but try to surf my way down it.
You bet. Heavy as crap. That's a cut of 2, but go for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see.
And then we'll get back to Nepalese because he's running out of people to go. You have a better idea than me, right?
Before I do that, is there anything kind of out even that I could grappling hook somewhat to?
So the roof itself looks
assist?
Hefty enough that you could. I mean, it's holding 3 of them up, and it didn't quake. It didn't move any dust. It didn't heave.
Oh, right? That's way down there, though. I mean, even with me to kind of.
Or
somewhere along the way to kind of.
So the building didn't just fall. This isn't the edge of the world, right? There's more dirt in front of you on the other end of the building. The building is long, though. It's like a warehouse. So there's more dirt, but it's way out there.
Okay. All right.
Let's do this. You might be able to tie something to the hill itself. I mean, it does taper off.
Yeah, too much time.
Okay.
This is gonna suck. Shit. Well, I got 2 2s after the
cut. So as you fall through the air, you smash through the roof of the building and ruin all possibility of stealth as you and 3 of your friends clamber onto a warehouse floor. What narrative twist would you like? Joaquin's looking at you like, you son of a.
You know what? The only twist I want is as I'm falling, I go, I'm sorry. Crash.
I'm not aerodynamic.
Exactly.
We're all sitting there going, okay, so what do you guys think is in? What's that noise? Oh my God.
Cannonball. Look, he goes right through.
I'm happy just not hitting them. That could be the twist.
You go right through the roof. The 4 of you land on the ground right inside the building. There's lots of weird objects around. There's what looks like metal boxes with handles on them. They're this big. They got weird, brightly colored characters. There's one dude with a giant sword and this awful yellow bowler haircut and his weird blue battle vest thing. There's a big castle behind him, right? There's a bunch of those metal slinky things that you've got. You're in a toy store. Lots of children's lunch boxes, that sort of thing. But the big news is that there's a whole bunch, and by a whole bunch, I mean 30 or so of those rat creatures on the walls, on the floor, Some of them are upside down, covered in dust. Presumably, they were on the underneath of the roof until you went through it. Before we get back to that, no, Police, what are you going to do? Because you're still up there by yourself.
I think you understand.
I accidentally pulled him down with me.
Oh, did you?
That's what he wanted.
I see. So good one. We are at the halfway mark. Let's take 15 minutes and I'll see everybody then, and we'll figure out what you do with your rat problem.
Beautiful.
Sounds good.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, small edit. I said green tufts of hair. I meant red.
Yeah, that's horrifying. Sorry, I didn't hear the last name my mom called.
That's okay. Everything all right?
Oh yeah, no, she's just concerned about me.
Oh, that's sweet though.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's really just a bad cold. I'm okay.
Well, good.
If it wasn't for the not smelling anything this morning, I probably would have still thought it was just a bad cold.
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah. But you know I have more of these things, don't you?
Besides, it could be worse. It could be one of those stiletto wolvie things that makes Michael go blue.
It could also be a terrifying clown like the one behind you. Not a fan. Not a fan.
I know what you're talking about. There's no clown back there. That is a picture of an adorable dog.
No. That's a terrible.
No.
As someone who's not afraid of clowns, that thing's horrifying.
Yeah.
I saw the funniest meme a couple of days ago.
What's that?
It was well, I don't guess it was a meme. It was a picture of a tweet, but there was a guy saying it showed a picture of a kid dressed as the clown from It, and the guy said, "That's terrifying. I just want you to know that these hands are rated E for everybody. I would punch a kid."
That's funny. Again,
great.
We don't condone Tyler views.
No,
on the show.
we do not. But that was funny.
So a small story edit. I said green tufts of hair. I meant red. That is Bonzo the Clown, a toy from the 70s. I'm going to use the word toy very, very loosely in this case. Like that is an actual doll that people bought for their children.
Creepy pasta from the 70s.
I feel like we're about to play the grand prize game.
Like I'm not familiar.
WGN had a Bozo the Clown show, and at the end there was a grand prize game.
That's creepy.
Oh, it was.
That's all I need to know. Right? That's creepy.
Was the grand prize you get to live?
Yeah.
Probably.
So I mean, I'll change that now. I just had to.
Just had to scar everyone, huh?
I did. Bonzo the Clown. I sure did.
Don't show clowns. This is I see. Change my background.
So there's the door outside. If you'd gone through the front door, you would have stepped through Bonzo's mouth to get into the toy store.
Even cooler.
You piss. I can see the face from here. Like you pissed right off. Like, like nope. So you're up to your arm. Actually, you're higher than your armpits. You're up to all your bits in rats. Rats with human hands.
Sounds not creepy. That's worse than the clown.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, that particular clown, to be fair, that particular clown is like a space alien or some shit. So I'm not really sure that counts, but yeah, you can't do that. I'll retread, to be fair, until you stop doing it. I can't.
I know how to derail a campaign.
When we play at Christmas time, it's got to be the Silent Night. To be fair.
To be fair, I don't.
To be fair.
Oh, I see. I have a special event picked out for Christmas. You're gonna love it. It's filled with clowns.
Excellent.
Yay!
Look at Michael like no.
I didn't realize we were gonna start the whole Wildsea on fire.
Throw in a giant rabbit, and that'll be even better for Michael.
Just one clown, if it makes you feel better. It's just one clown.
Have you ever heard the saying, "I will burn this whole world down"? The end of the campaign. There's no politics, just fires on everything.
So the rat creatures on their bellies don't seem to be very good at flipping over. They're going to do it, but you have time to attack them first if you want. The rats that are not on their bellies have not attacked you yet. They bristle around you. They're covered in translucent glowing green shit, like they're dripping something. Their eyes glow, and you're not really sure how you can tell, but they're definitely intelligent creatures.
Joaquin's immediately going to pull out his revolver and his blunderbuss, and he's going to point them at the two nearest rats, and he's going to say, "You have one chance.
Nobody moves, nobody dies."
Basically, like, what's going on here? You have one chance to prevent me from just unloading.
I'll smear you all over the wall, right? Does anybody else have anything they want to say, or are you just gonna wait for Joaquin to like pose? Look at these guns, right? like if anyone's ever had an excuse to say "Welcome to the gun show," right?
I'm gonna pull out my my prow hammer and wield it menacingly.
I see. I'm not sure you can wield that in a non-menacing manner.
Probably not.
Anybody else have something, Charlie's Angels pose? No? What was that?
Still up top?
Apparently Jacobite dragged your punk ass through the roof when he fell.
Okay.
But I cushioned your landing, so that's good.
Right. At least you didn't splat into Ozetta with her like strange bone retraction stuff. Can you imagine you
I'm
fell,
a jelly person, deal with it.
But you fall, she's like, "I'm here, I'm a sphere, get over it." Right.
I will pull out my short spear and just kind of stand behind Joaquin to kind of, again, just put up the intimidation factor, but no, like he's gonna be in front. He's the one that's gonna kill people.
Konosab, did you have something specific you wanted to do? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to pull out my slingshot and load it with a couple of the paintballs.
You bet. Nepalese, was there a thing in there? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna grab my like rickety looking black market pistol.
Yeah, you bet. The rats snap their hands up, and some of them slowly reach for their friends who have flipped over. Do you shoot them?
Like their hands are up as in like a "don't shoot me" kind of pose?
Right. They snap them up on the wrists like, hey, whoa, but they don't actually say anything. All the ones that don't do that, 2 of them don't do that. They go for their friends and grab them by the tail. They only get as close as they have to put their hands on them and pull them away from you. Do you shoot them?
No. Not yet. But my guns are trained on those 2 specifically.
Okay, sure. After they right their friends, like they help them get, topside again. They don't move after that. Oh, now all the hands go up. Like the Punisher over here.
What are you doing?
They point towards the ground. There's some dirt and refuse, and they go to draw in that if you let them.
Go ahead.
I love the motion with the gun, like I love you motion with only one. Like if you twitch, I'm going to shoot you with the other one. That's very cool.
I only need one to take you out.
Right. And you, the rats, the smell gets bad in here. You're pretty sure they just let like little presents back there as they continue to draw in the dirt. And they draw what looks like little, very bad depictions of themselves. And the building. They draw the clown face, and they draw what looks like badly etched comic panels that the building, they draw around the building. Like there are these big metal posts that go up with like radiation lines coming out of them. And they just like there's a little, like the pole goes up and there's a bendy part of the metal. And then there's like a separate drawing of like a cube or something. And then radiation lines, and they show little, what look like rectangle boxes on top of larger rectangle boxes with half circles underneath them. And they draw what is basically a smiley face over that. And they pause drawing and they rasp out this sound, and they explain that this is not going to work, that they're going to try to speak to you, but their voice is painful to the ear in most people, and they don't They don't want you to take that as a sign of aggression. And it is painful to the ear. Those of you who have ears anyway. But actually, is none of you, is it? None of you have ears. Never mind. You have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Like, it just sounds like reverb. And they describe that they are pre-V people. And they think this new world is that they think the iron roots outside are damaged, that they're spiritual in some way. They're living things beyond just plants, and that they think that the world will become a better place if they remove all of the previous stuff from it. That all of the iron roots are filled with contempt and rage from the world they came from. That's how come they think nature exploded. That's what caused the verdancy in the first place, is nature's aggression at people essentially treating it like dirt.
Okay, so here's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
How about you guys scavenge all of this previous stuff, send it to us. We can dispose of it. And I'm winking at Napolis and Ozetta whenever I say this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a win-win situation for both of us. You get to live, you get to get rid of the previous stuff, and well, we might get to scavenge a few things here and there.
They express through the rasping sound. It sounds very much like leaves inside of a, you know, that sound when you scoop up leaves into a trash bag and then you go to squish it and it makes that crinkly, naturey, that sound. Their voice sounds like that. They all talk at once, like a big creepy hive mind of talking rats. And their mouths don't open or anything. It's audible sound, but it's not like coming out of their mouth. And they explain that works for them. If you would please put the gun down, they would slide backwards.
I'm not going to put the guns up, but I'm going to keep them at my sides.
Understandable. And they express that they appreciate your willingness to work with them. They don't intend to encounter other life forms very often because very few creatures come down here, except for those green bulbous things, and they always try to kill them.
Green bulbous things?
What are those?
They describe them as tall mushroom people, large caps. They go on like Raiden's hat. Like the hat is way wider than it needs to be, right? Like comically wide. And they're mushrooms. They're mushroom people, except they have these big green glowing welts all over them with liquid in them that swishes back and forth. And they patrol the lower levels too, but they're not sure what they're looking for. Suffice to say, they bump into each other frequently, and that the rats have fought with them long enough that they have permanent damage, and they kind of motion at the green shit leaking out of them. And they go, our hands didn't used to do this. They think the green mushroom people are guardians born out of the Iron Root's hatred for nature's hatred for the way the world treated it. They think this clean break they want will resolve that. These creatures will perish, and that the world will just be a better place if nature doesn't have anything left to complain about. They found a benefit in growing little human hands. They're like screwdrivers and tools are much easier to use when you have a thumb. It's actually not so bad.
That is true. Makes things a little easier. So looking at this green stuff that they have on them, does that look familiar at all?
How familiar are you with radioactive isotopes?
Probably not very.
Okay. So no, probably not. But okay. Feel free to roll for it with a cut if you want.
I'm gonna go with Ozetta's probably not that smart to know that.
Okay, sounds good.
Doesn't say Napolis might be smart enough to know that, but Ozetta ain't.
I wouldn't say radioactivity is necessarily a thing that any of us would probably know about.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Now what?
So how are we gonna get this stuff to our ship?
I have no idea.
You see, they're going to help us get it to our ship.
Okay.
They are?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
And he cocks his guns again.
I see. Is that Larry from Beekman's World?
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's a better one.
He's the only actual
you
scientist on the show. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I interviewed that guy not that long ago. That was great.
Nice.
Not Larry. He's dead. The guy who played Beekman.
Right.
Whose name Paul Zaloom. And Zaloom is like the coolest last name ever. Like, what? Zaloom. What? That's badass. He's still Beekman, you know.
Mhm.
There's places all over the globe where Beekman is still like on the air and a huge deal.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. That's his thing. And this unique form of puppetry with like small scale dioramas and metal parts that I forget the name of right now. Anyway, and the rats they suggest they're willing to help you, anything to further sever the pre-V from the post-V. But they flew up here. How are you getting?
Well, how did they fly?
Well, on our leatherbacks, of course.
On your
Perhaps
what?
The
Those,
leatherbacks. Perhaps you
those
saw them on the way.
creatures I saw?
Yeah, right. Perhaps you saw them on the way through. They look a bit like mantises.
I'm not sure I know what a mantis is, but I did see something.
Our apologies, and they express that they maintain full memories of pre-V, like the world before it was lost. To them, this new world, they have no place in it. Their only place in it is to remove the pre-V stuff, at which point they're kind of hoping that they'll just like that the mutation will finish them off. They have this one quest left to do, and after that they really have no place in the world, and they're okay with that. And these big mantises are like you might have seen them on your way here, much kind of sloped like a triangle-ish mouth on the bottom, leather on the top. They fly.
How much can they carry?
They carry several of us at a time without any sort of depression or grunt. We've never really asked them to carry more than that. We don't know.
Curious if they could bring them up to the tangle so that we could get those to our ship.
Tangle? You lost us. What?
I think it's called the tangle, right?
Oh, I know what it's called. Yeah, but they have
Okay,
no
no, I
idea.
just want to make sure. I'm like, did I not say the right thing?
You did.
Yeah, the level above us, where all the roots are.
Oh, we don't. That's a few levels up. We don't. No.
I figured
No.
you probably didn't, but
We can't deal with the light. Our wounds cause us great pain in the light. We don't.
oh, fair enough.
So do your mantises deal with the light just fine?
We don't know. We've never gone above this layer before. Most of the previous stuff that's higher than this has already been claimed by the surface people anyway. So we don't really go up. We don't know.
So would you allow us to
As
borrow
he brandishes the gun.
Trigun this thing
to test this out?
Yes, we would. That would be okay with. Would you all collectively make what amounts to perception rolls with advantage if you have particularly good hearing? Larry the Mouse Man, the Rat Man, Batman. Well,
I got a 6 and a 5.
nice.
I got 2 6s and a 5.
Nice.
my top dice was a 6.
Nice. You bet. Napoleon, what'd you get?
3 5s.
What is that, Ed? What is I've seen it before, but I don't know what it's called. What is that?
What's what?
The GIF you posted.
It's a possum.
Is that a possum?
Yeah, it's an Australian possum.
No kidding. It's adorable. So you all hear, those of you with narrative twist, I'll get to that in a second. You hear a huge creaking outside, like a tree is crying right next to you. And the building starts to tremble, and there is a distinct feeling of lift.
Uh-oh.
What do you want to do for those of you who have narrative twists?
I would like to grab something to stabilize myself.
Sure, yeah. There's metal racking bolted to the wall.
Grab that.
Sounds good. The building goes up. There's a distinct moment of weightlessness, and you start to fall down. What do you want to do? Let's start with Nepales. You are falling quickly. You know, I don't know if you've ever been in an elevator where the cable snaps, but it probably feels like that.
Probably grab something, try to get off the ground at least.
You bet. There's metal scaffolding that's bolted. There's metal shelving bolted to the wall that you climb on top of. There's also an upper walkway up there. Most of it was destroyed because Jacobite went, through it. But the back half of the warehouse that he didn't go through, you could climb up on the top of if you wanted. You could also get on top of the warehouse if you want. The hole's still there. Shit, it's bigger now.
You're welcome.
That's right. You can see the sky. You are falling. Absolutely. The iron roots that were holding you up before, you see them above you.
This can't be good.
So you want to climb up on top of something and not touch the bottom of the warehouse. Is that right?
Well, that's the current plan, but it may not work too well for me. Yeah, that's the best plan I have right now.
Okay, you bet. You climb up on top of one of the scaffolding bits, and it's bolted pretty tight. If that thing rips off the walls, you have bigger problems. Ozetta, what do you want to do? As you free fall in a toy store into who knows what.
As I look around, do I see like piles of stuffed animals or anything like that?
I was gonna say that.
So there is a huge shipping crate filled with many stuffed rats, clowns, and teddy bears.
I am going to clamber into that thing.
Nice, you bet. You find some bonzo clowns fresh off the assembly line, snuggled, kind of like that, snuggled right up to them. Nope, you're as close to them as Nepales is to his dog.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of snuggle myself in there, going, because when we land, this is gonna hurt.
Jacobite, what are you doing? You're the big heavy one.
Doesn't really matter what I do, so I'm just gonna kind of stand there and try to stabilize myself.
No kidding. You'd be like, what? Like sumo.
I mean,
shit.
if I get up on something, I'm gonna just fall further when I hit. So
probably. Joaquin, what do you think? You're the graceful one who's always up high.
Joaquin's gonna try to climb up back onto the roof.
Okay.
And try to ride it out, and I'll roll however I need to with however many cuts I need to for this. But whenever he's going to try to watch over the side, and whenever it seems like we're about to impact whatever we're going to hit once we finish falling, he's going to try and jump about 3 or 4 seconds before we hit, and do his parachute thing to where it'll hopefully kind of lessen the impact. And he's going to jump to where he jumps over the hole into the warehouse, so he has more room to fall.
Sounds good. The rats, I'll get to that in a second. The rats pour up onto the roof with you, except for the people who stayed inside. They each get a couple of rats around them, and collectively they squeak at you. They kind of shriek into your brains that they're willing to test your weight theory. As you see those bat mantas fly down, they go, we do not believe there is a bottom. I realize that you only have an excuse to trust us, but if you want to live, we suggest you jump. And they don't wait for your answer. They jump on mantas.
I'll jump on a manta.
You bet.
Same.
Yep. Okay. You bet.
I'm assuming you holler at us, Jack.
Oh yeah. Joaquin's going to shout down, "Hey, get up here and get on the mantas, guys." Then he'll jump.
Everybody roll to jump on a manta.
I do grab a couple of the stuffed animals to bring with me, though.
Of course you do. Right. So I'm assuming you don't bring a clown with you, like a stuffed teddy bear, and a stuffed rat, but you leave poor Bonzo to sink forever.
100% take a Bonzo with me too. I think it's horrifying.
I see.
Someone's gonna pay for that. Somebody wants it.
Some creep out there wants it. Fresh in the plastic, don't bend the corners. Yeah.
Exactly. Mint in package.
Creepy shit.
So we're rolling to jump, right?
Yeah.
2 4s.
Not great. Like, not great. I'll get back to that in a second. Joaquin, what'd you get?
2 5s, 2 4s, and a 3.
No, you bet. Kanosai?
I got 6 5 5 5.
Nice. Take a bite.
6-2.
Nice. Ozetta, what'd you get?
6 4 2 1.
Nice. You bet. So I understand this right. Kanosai and Nopale's got narrative twist. Joaquin, did you get one too? Did I miss you?
I did, yeah.
Okay, you bet. So Nopale's, you do make the jump, but as you wrench back and forth and land on the creature, it does not fly very well. And some of the rats, rather than crash, jump off the back of it to adjust for the weight. They absolutely die to make it so you don't have to. Joaquin, what narrative twist did you want?
Since I jumped first, would it be possible for me to try and reach out and grab one of the rats that jumped off of Nepalis's manta?
Yeah, you bet. You snag one of them.
Yeah, just to try to pull them onto ours and save them.
You bet. To Kanosai, what do you think? What narrative twist do you want?
I don't really have anything in mind.
Okay.
Anyone got any suggestions? Nope. Okay, then I'll just let it go.
Okay, you bet. And did I miss somebody in there?
Yeah, I had 2 4s, but I don't really have anything either.
Okay, you bet. So you all respectively land. I mean, nobody screwed that up too bad. Nobody rolled a 3, right? As you watch the building just fall and fall until you can't see it anymore. You don't hear it hit anything as the leatherback creatures swoop up and drop you on the layer above where you originally fell on the hill. The rats get off, the flying creatures duck down below the hill again, and they go about their business. And the rats expressed to Joaquin that you did not have to do that. You could have overextended. You could have made a mistake. Like, that was absolutely not necessary. It was foolish and brave, and they appreciate it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And they go, we apologize for not being able to meet our end of the bargain. As we understand it, our arrangement was for you to get to loot the building. You can't loot the building. So now what?
Is there any other, or are there any other buildings similar to this with previous stuff?
Yes, there's one to the south of here, but we'd have to go past the gnarled thing to get through there. And we fit through the gnarled thing, but you're way too big for that. We can't recommend it. That would be unsafe.
What is the gnarled thing?
Picture a bull, right? Twice as large as it needs to be, covered in jagged thorns and knots of roots that, like, where its muscles would be are knots of roots that writhe and squirm. They go, it hunts out there. We don't know what for. We fit inside of it. So we ride it from place to place until it gets tired, and then we just hop out of it. We've seen it fight some of the chipped creatures before. It always wins. We can't recommend that you go that way.
Jack, about you this?
Say again?
Yeah, I'm not going there.
Like, no, sir.
I just didn't know if you wanted to earn some brownie points with your people.
But what if we set it on fire?
No, there's always that.
There's always fire.
The rat people use it for transportation. Wouldn't that be a little rude?
They've got these mantas that fly around. That's
yeah, we use it for transportation to get through its area, not because we need it to get around, just because it can't stab itself with those giant horns. We're small enough to hide in its root systems.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Honestly, the other Ironbound weren't able to defeat it because they're scared of fire. So there's our
blow it to shit, right?
We haven't set anything on fire yet this session. It's
There's no more setting the roof on fire, so
yeah.
So yeah, that's what Joaquin's gonna push for, that we go find this creature and take care of it.
No kidding. Okay.
Not only will make it easier for the rat people to. Speaking of which, what do you guys call yourselves?
We call ourselves the Rinklings. Well, we call ourselves the Reach. People call us the Rinklings.
So you're the Reach.
Yeah.
Okay. So
a long time ago, we used to call ourselves humans.
Okay.
We did too.
Really?
Yeah.
And they look at you and they look at their strange hands and their otherwise ratly form and they go, well.
It's all right. You should see the ones that call themselves humans that live up there.
They
look
don't
weird.
They don't burn in the light?
No. They also don't have any, they're like not covered in hair like you. They're not green like me. They have like flesh. It's weird.
You watch them show visual signs of sadness at the idea. Because they used to be like that, presumably, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, huh. You watch them all sort of get a little bit smaller for a second, like a collective.
We all got better in our own ways.
I suppose
they can't survive down here.
No?
No?
Maybe the form isn't so bad.
No, it's really not.
I would like to ask them a little bit about what it was like pre-verdancy.
Sure. Yeah. They expressed they would love to help you with that. They literally owe you their lives and they couldn't do their mission if they weren't alive to do it. So anything they can tell you. What do you want to know?
Well, Kanasaiba is pretty inquisitive when it comes to that. So suffice to say, pretty much anything they're willing to divulge. I guess specifically Kanasaiba would be asking about like daily life and like oceans, I guess. Kanasaiba would be pretty interested in the idea of oceans.
Okay. So they described that once upon a time, a huge portion of the planet was covered in water.
What?
Tons of it. Whole swaths of it were just wet all the time. The planet was more water than anything else. And humans had these big wooden boats, basically, like you have on the surface, that you would sail across it. This is very much the same idea, except there were no iron roots and there was no branches and there were no multiple levels. There was just the top and that's it. Humans occasionally dove below it a little, but the bottom of the ocean, no one ever saw it, ever. The verdancy happened. It never, like, no one knows.
Now it's all just trees.
Like how
evil trees. What was that advice?
Like how fast did this happen?
The verdancy happened in an hour and a half by most accounts. The planet went from mostly water to a giant green ball of malice and resentment in 90 minutes. If you ask us, there is nothing below. Like that building's never going to stop falling. It won't stop falling until it's the bottom of the gravitational field that makes up the planet's like planetary bubble. The what's what I'm looking for? You know what I'm talking about. My ozone layer. There we go. Nope, that's not right. The stratosphere. Anyway, and they're not entirely confident that that is still there. Think about it. Gravity is just large piles of gravity are created by large piles of mass. Gravity doesn't exist on its own. So if the planet's mass has gotten that much smaller because that much of the dirt and rock and whatever the core of our planet is has disappeared, maybe there isn't a gravitational field strong enough to keep everything on it anymore. So they're not entirely confident that that building won't pick up enough speed to just fall off the other end into space.
Maybe. So last time we found a document for a biochemist talking about this. Did it have a name on it?
It did. I don't remember what it was, so I'm going to give you a new one.
Okay, it's like I didn't write it down, so.
Well, I know I gave you one, but I'm going to go with Rupert Costigan. They expressed that they knew who he was. He died in the blast. The verdancy shot up and the vines went right through him. Like stories of that old crucifixion guy. It's not really important in today's world, though, is it? And they took that kind of as bad omen in the moment. Awfully specific branches shooting into wrists like that. But they blame him at the reading of the name. They all and bristle and their fur stands up. Rupert was obsessed with controlling nature because he lost his wife, and he was confident that he could bring her back with enough understanding of biology. And when that didn't work, he turned to, I'll grow a new one. And they think that nature, that was the last straw, right? Nature wasn't going to let you use it for a Frankensteinian project. So the verdancy happened. For them, he's the devil. Would you all, those of you who are caring about this conversation anyway, would you roll in what amounts to insight checks?
Sure.
I'm not saying is anything to insight, but if there was.
Have you ever played or watched what was it called? Beyond Two Souls? I think it's a PlayStation exclusive.
No, but it's on my list. Is it good?
Very, very similar sort of storyline there.
No kidding.
Yeah. It was very good from what I watched of it. I never played myself, but I did watch gameplay.
Cool. PlayStation 3 exclusive or PlayStation? Oh, it's on here on Steam. That means I can buy it here. That's exciting.
Perfect. I probably
yeah,
did that at the same time as Detroit Become Human.
Okay, I didn't play that one either. One of those things. Wow, look at the reviews on this thing. Apparently, I missed one. Like, that is cool. I'll have to give it a go. You bet. So they bristle at the idea. What did you get for insight rolls? Let's start with Joaquin. You got 2 ones. Nice. Do you have a narrative twist you want for that? No?
Yeah, I get distracted by the blunderbuss again. Like
Sounds
I'm
great.
holding it and I just noticed something new about it that I didn't notice before, so I start studying that.
Like, ooh, right.
And I'm completely oblivious to the conversation at this point.
Okay, you bet. No polys, what'd you get?
A 4 and a 2.
Okay, you bet. You get distracted by, I don't know. Oh, I got it. The ground underneath you has a lot of creaking in it. No one else hears that but you. Maybe you're paranoid. Maybe you're itching to set something on fire. Who knows? Oh, Zeta, what do you get?
In other news, it's Monday.
541.
In other news, it's Monday. Right. So the branches are giving a little. You, as a group, you should probably move. You hear a lot of squeaking, creaking underneath. You should probably move. Jacob, what'd you get?
I didn't roll. I wasn't paying attention.
You didn't roll. Kano,
Jacob, I was not carrying.
I got 1355.
You bet. So feel free to use an narrative twist if you want. You notice that the rats are definitely, there's more to that, right? Maybe it's just extra anger. Who knows? But there's more to that. They weren't forthcoming with.
We might want to spread out a little more. The ground seems to be making noises.
Joaquin's like, huh?
Oh, what? They express that they're like, wait, we understand that most people on the surface, speaking of sailing around on ships, how did you get down here?
We climbed.
Stupidity.
A rope ladder.
At the risk of alienation, what are you, insane?
Yes.
Just a little bit.
He just laughs like
a little insanity, a little luck, and a little stupidity. It goes a long way.
Good for you. Yeah. They go, so presumably you have a ship.
We do.
We can't go with you. The light will burst us into flames. Where do we go from here?
Wait, how do you know that?
Fascinating. We don't. It's a commonly held belief, but I suppose technically we don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's a good point.
I mean, we've tell us that, we're going to die instantly if we come down here, and look, we're down here.
That's true. They point claws behind you and go, "What is that?"
Oh no.
Do we all do like the slow Scooby-Doo turn?
That is up to you.
Yep. 100%.
Jacob, what do you think? Do you like?
Yeah.
You bet.
I think I already know what's behind me. I think I've got it in my picture.
Oh yeah. You were looking at what would appear to be, you're close, a collection of painted green trees that have moved towards you.
We found the Entwives. Sorry.
Nice.
They're not like moving or anything, but you saw them before, right? They were back there. You're talking to these rats, you turn around, now they're like 20 feet away.
It's weeping angels.
All right, constant eyes on the trees.
So what are those? Joaquin's going to say to the Riche.
As we are, like the rest of us are watching the trees.
We don't know. We kind of thought you knew. That's why we asked.
You live down here, though.
No. We live below.
Oh.
Oh.
There's another layer?
In the sense that we fly, yes. We actually think there is a layer below that. But we are unwilling to go there until we resolve our preview problem.
That's fair.
So those trees were not on the path when we fell. So what are those? Now you're the ones with all the knowledge. What are those?
Well, they seem to be trees that are painted green that are moving when nobody's looking at them.
We were told not to go beyond those trees, so we should probably get moving.
Yeah.
Okay. And how? Let's assume for a second they actually are weeping angels. Do you back away from the trees with your staring at them?
Yes.
Okay, you bet. There were 2 rows of trees. You can't possibly look at them all at the same time, unless as a group you circle up and yeah. Okay, you bet. The rats in the middle, the rats on your shoulders. What?
Are they big enough are they small enough to sit in our shoulders?
Uncomfortably so. Well, I mean, I guess it's more like what cats do when they scarf you.
Gotcha.
I don't know how you feel about having green glowing rat pus and fur pressed up against your neck like that.
It's not the worst thing I've gotten into today.
Yeah. That's funny. It's not either.
No. I mean, it could, if we wanted, we could have a couple of them sit on our shoulders, and as we walk, they watch them.
Okay. Sure.
I'm going to say, Ozetta, throw that creepy clown at him. See if that does something.
But my stuff.
All right, fine.
But it's my creepy clown. I risked my
I almost died for this.
Okay.
All right, little dude.
All right,
scare some other things, and I'll throw the clown.
No kidding.
I will.
The clown hits the tree. A face ripples out of the tree for a second that looks distinctly female, right? Like picture an old Jewish grandmother, and it shrieks bloody murder at you, and wooden darts shoot out of its mouth, out of the core of the tree in your direction.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Feel free to make a dodge action.
Yes, I will do a dodge. So I'll use my grace. I'll use dodge. And I'll use sense. 5, 2, 1.
Nice, you bet. The darts, they don't hit you, but they hit the rat that's on your shoulders, and he tears off of you like a bullet out of a rail gun and flies off the end of the edge of the hill beyond you. You watch those spikes come by. They're like this long. They spin through the air. You can feel the malice in them as they fly by, like Sith energy.
Well, that can't be good.
The trees give up the whole like not moving when you're not moving when you're not looking thing. They rip their roots up and advance towards you.
Napalies, do what you do best as I run away.
Napalies, what do you think?
Before he goes, I'm gonna toss him the bag of marbles.
I like how we all encourage Napalies to start fires, but don't want to be part of it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
My blunderbuss. Mm-hmm. Would it be feasible for me to stuff a few of those marbles into the barrel as like shot
and create like a firework shot? Yeah, I don't see why not. Napalies, did you just like recline? What did you do?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Actually, I was like looking at my stuff. I guess the best I can do is like, reach in my little tool belt and pull out a little bit of the clover dust stuff.
Okay.
And, just make a better pipe bomb.
Right.
Put the marbles and clover dust and then throw it right at the centermost tree I can.
Okay, sure. Roll for it. Joaquin, do you want to roll for your attack?
Yeah. I got a 6, 2 5s, a 4, a 3, and a 2.
Wow, you bet. So you blast one of those trees, you blow a sizable chunk into it. It bursts into flames. It's now a torch the size of a tree.
Sweet.
And 5, 5, 2, 1.
Nice, you bet. And you were doing a similar thing, yes? Yeah. You hit one, but you also miss a little bit, like you hit some of it and set the ground near it on fire, the ground you were also standing on. Con side, what do you want to do? You're in the middle of a burning ring of trees, standing on burning ground.
Okay. Do we still got those mantas?
They are below you somewhere, but in theory they're here. Yes. That hole is nearby. I guess you could jump and hope for the best of it. That sounds kind of insane, but it wouldn't be the craziest thing you've done today.
Okay.
Somebody cue the Johnny Cash is what I just heard.
Yep.
Fire. I will. I'm actually going to use a feature that I've been holding on to.
Ooh, Amber with the sneaky plan. Yeah. Layers upon layers, enigma smothered in super secret sauce, wrapped in a mystery.
I gotta pull up exactly what it does, but from what I remember, I have a cordycept, which is a little bug that I keep under my mushroom cap.
Okay.
And I believe it allows me to find like a secret or a weakness of the creature that I'm facing.
Fun.
I'll look it up really quick. I just gotta open the PDF.
No worries. While you do that, Jacobite, would you roll a D4 for me?
Begrudgingly so.
Why? Because you didn't set the ground on fire?
No, because if this goes to shit in one round, it would be my fault. But it's not. It's going to be 3.
Oh, that's not bad. So collectively, you all add up that you've got 12, about 18 seconds before the roots you're standing on burn away into nothing, and you jump whether you like it or not. Kono-san, did you find what you're looking for?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
It says a slow flying beetle riddled with fungal growths, mark to gain a burst of dense sensory information from its surroundings, revealing oddities and secrets.
Nice. You bet. Mark as in like you damage it once.
Yes.
You bet.
Yeah, it's a 3-track companion, so I can only use it 2 more times.
You bet. Until you like regenerate a new one or something.
Yeah.
So when you how do you mark it? Do you like tap the bug? Do you squeeze him? Do you like ingest him for a second?
So I pluck the little bug out from under my cap. Right. And I just hold it onto it and I shake it and it starts glowing until it like bursts with light.
He's like a magic 8-ball. Bud.
Yeah.
Like one of those shake weights. That's great. Losing weight and gaining knowledge all at the same time. That's great. The trees are you get the impression that since they can move, right? You find it a little bit odd that they didn't go near the town to begin with. If they could, how come they didn't? You get the impression that they are afraid of large groups.
Okay.
And they are particularly susceptible to pre-V impact. I mean, Ozetta hit it with a doll, right? And it shrieked like she set it on fire with acid.
All right. Well, I guess I will load up a couple of paintballs.
Okay, you bet. Do you want to shoot at one of them?
Yeah, whichever one's closest.
You bet. Roll for it. While you do that, Jacobite, what are you doing?
I'm going to pull out my Jagsary, which is something used to hack and slash with little saw blades on it.
Okay, that sounds gruesome.
Hey, I'm gonna try to cut a path
through the tree people and beyond.
Yeah,
you bet. Sure.
Take a swing at a couple of them.
You bet. Roll for it. Kono-san, what'd you get? Oh, I'm sorry. Roll with them at a cut because you don't want to set yourself on fire. Kono-san, what'd you get?
I got 5, 3, 1.
Awesome. So you blast one of them, but you take them down, but they spiral and fall in your way and dent the ground, shaving off some of your timer. Jacobite, what'd you get?
5.
Awesome. You bet. You blast one of them. Same deal. The tree spirals, lands in the other one. I'm not going to shave that timer off again, but if that happens again, I definitely will. Zeta, what do you want to do? The ground's unstable. It's on fire. You're surrounded by burning trees. There are way too many of them to kill in the amount of time you have left.
I am actually going to jump down and try and get a couple of those manta ray things to come. I'm going to try and get a couple to come up and save us.
So you're going to just jump into the pit nearby.
This is kind of apparently, it's kind of my jam today. Apparently he's just jumping and ask questions later.
You bet. It works for Wolverine.
6, 6, 2, 3.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So you land on one effortlessly. What narrative twist do you want?
So I'm going to land on one effortlessly, and then I'm going to try and I'll somehow coax 2 more to come with me. So
Sounds
that
good.
When I come back up, I have enough to carry everybody.
Sounds good. So the rest of you watch Ozetta like squish her jelly self between 2 burning trees and just whoop, just down through the hole that you have so gracefully tried to avoid before. She's like, oh, look, there's a rope I could walk on. Nope, weep. And she just falls and comes back up through the hole with mantas because they fold in half. So they can and pop out of the hole one at a time. You have rides. Unbelievable. You could have been slain.
I could have.
You were like 12 seconds away from death.
I made that roll knowing I could die doing that.
That was awesome.
If I get 3-2 or 3 or lower, Ozetta's done.
So you have rides. You can, escape with your butts.
Yeah, Joaquin immediately jumps on. He's probably going to jump on the one with Ozetta.
Yeah.
Awesome. You bet. Everybody gets on a manta. Jacobite, are you okay with this? Do you want to try some other plan?
No, I'm all right.
You bet.
But I'll get one of myself because
you right, and you take up a lot of space.
I'm a big old boy.
And you whoosh up. Where to from here? The mantas look like you don't really tell them what to do so much as you can kind of feel. Remember the Atlantis Disney movie where you sort of just touch the crystal and it moves? It's kind of like that.
So if we have these, you guys want to fly over the knotted thing and go where that other location is? Or do you want to head towards the Holy Land that we're supposed to be going to open? Or option 3, do something else.
Right, yeah, you could go back to your ship and call it a day. Screw the ship, you could fly on these things.
We should bring these back with us.
Little skiffs for us.
Yeah, right.
Excursions.
You can hang out with our squirrels. They will love you.
Yeah, we could promise the reefs that they could just like stay below decks if they're worried about the sunlight. And then we could only like, or let them know whenever there's no sunlight and they can come out.
Yeah, if they want to come, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
They can
Sounds
be
good.
our like away team for like the lower levels.
Where to from here?
So I guess catch up with the Reach and see if they want to come with us.
Yeah.
Okay, like to the surface or towards like which direction are we headed?
Yeah, I mean, we came down here for a couple reasons. We had the map of San Francisco and the Holy Land to go to for Yikpit.
Yeah, they actually the rat people might know something about that,
They
Yeah.
might.
or at least
Yeah,
something
yeah.
about the depiction of the bridge.
Yeah.
They might. Do you want to ask them about that while you are? I mean, while you talk, what direction are you headed in right now?
Up, probably.
Up.
Well, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So as you fly up and away, right, like Super Manta, everybody like does the thing with it. They describe that they are familiar with this holy land that the Ironbound mentioned. They go, but to them they go, we actually think it's a vault. We can't tell because as humans, full disclosure, we lock up an awful lot of stuff. Lots of different things and lots of different cages. But whatever it is, it's definitely a vault. Like the kind you find in a bank. It's huge though. Like the size of a town. It does not fit in any building ever built by humans, ever. So we don't know what's in it. Our best guess is some sort of survival bunker in case of something like this. So food, everything from foods to humanity's knowledge to diseases.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually very much like what
exactly.
Exactly, right. Like what one would find in a vault. Somewhere between like Vault 101, no one ever enters, no one ever leaves, and Borderlands. Like, who knows what's in it? Maybe it's filled with little glass beakers with all the diseases that we really should have just destroyed instead. Or maybe it's filled with food. Or maybe it's filled with every cookbook, ever, like the Library of Congress. Who knows? But that's their best guess, is that they think it's some sort of bunker archive. They're like, we can't think of anything else that would take a individual case that is that large. We can open it, but you'd have to get us to it. It has an access lock on the bottom. There's a number sequence. We know the number sequence. Actually, no. But well, once, but we don't like to talk about it. Many of us did not come back. The vines there squeeze like their hands. We don't. Wait a second. If you want to go, we'll give you the number combination and you deal with it.
That could work. What's that number combo?
4729.
Okay. So do we want to show them where they can go to our ship if they want to go, and then we head towards the Holy Land? or do we want to bring them with us? Or do we want to go to the Holy Land? Ozetta wants to go.
I want to
go. I think that's going without saying, but
would we know approximately like what time of day it is?
Down here without the sun, it's difficult to tell, but best guess from last time you saw the sun, it's probably nighttime-ish.
Okay, then I think Joaquin would let him know, hey, the sun shouldn't be out right now. If you want to test it out, you can head up, and like if you are interested, then we can tell you where our ship is, and we can let you know what to tell the Alma squad to let them, or so to where they won't attack you and let you on board. But if not, then I'd say you're coming with us.
They suggest that they're okay with that. They're game. They've never been to the surface before, and they feel a little bit sheepish that they have this belief that the sun will set them ablaze because that's what the rat people before them said, like their original, their descendants, but their ancestors. They are the descendants, but they don't actually know.
You kind of get it. If your ancestors tell you you're going to start on fire, or you can't breathe underwater, you don't really test that out.
Right.
But
Nepali's here. He's pretty good with the experimentation. And
is that what we're calling it?
How about you go up to our ship? You just stay below decks. I mean, you can be up on the surface while the sun's down, but whenever the sun starts to come up, you just go below decks while you're waiting on us, and stay down there until it's nighttime again. And whenever we all get back, maybe we can figure out some way of testing to see if this is actually true. If it is, maybe there's a way to help you survive up there.
Okay. Sounds good. They look curious, right? And, really nervous, but they're game. For being rats with glowing eyes, they are surprisingly capable of physical expression.
And if it doesn't work, you can always come back down.
Yeah.
I guess it's actually not surprising if you've actually owned a rat. They are surprisingly evocative little things.
Mm-hmm.
So they take you up on the offer, and they whisk away on. They just kind of snap their tails, and mantas come up out of the hole, and they fly up without you. I assumed you told them where to find the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Where to from here?
I won't speak for everybody, but I'm assuming we're headed to the vault.
I would say so. If it's going to be nighttime, we should probably find somewhere to rest.
Yeah, I don't think we ever actually finished our rest from before.
You didn't.
No, we got woken up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get kicked out.
Feel free to, check off not a burn, but a mark. Feel free to heal a thing. What does your downtime look like this time? Does it change from last time? Nepalese, what are we doing in downtime?
I'm studying that blueprint that I got from the gun thing earlier.
Okay, you bet. So options, you can roll if you want to speed up how fast you learn from it. But if you screw up the roll, you'll get the wrong impression and kind of set yourself back.
Okay.
Up to you.
Yeah, I can roll that.
Ooh. Should you have not have rolled that?
3, 2, 1.
3, 3. Yeah. So you are confident that their clockwork design in there is not necessary. You're like, okay, all right, I see how these two cogs click together and they make this whole design more effective, but they're wrong. If I added just 2 larger cogs instead of 4 smaller ones, this would be a much more effective machine. On a meta level, that is absolutely not true.
Right.
What narrative twist did you want for that?
I don't understand it because I don't know the language it's written in.
I see. So you're like, yeah, that's like Swahili or something. I have no idea what it means. I'm game. They got pictures. I'll get there. Sounds good. Joaquin, what does your downtime look like?
The first bit of it, I'm gonna finish off cleaning up my new gun, make sure it's in good tip-top condition. And I'm gonna spend the rest of my time just kind of I'll be sitting like cross-legged on the Manta, just resting or whatever, but I'm going to always kind of be looking around just to make sure that I keep an eye out for anything.
Okay, sounds good. So the gun is in great shape. It has 2 grooves on the side of it that if you found the right like enhancements, you could slide them over it to offer up what are essentially attachments in video games.
Sweet.
Ozetta, what's your downtime look like? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I just said good to know.
Okay, you bet.
You have a Game Shark for your guns?
Pretty much. Ozetta, what do you think?
So having grown up a little bit down here, I'd say I probably know a little bit about the plants and stuff down here. So
Okay.
I'm going to try and make some sort of medicinal lotion or something for Conocype's burn. Try and help heal that up a little faster.
Sounds good.
632.
Nice. You bet. So you look around. The dirt down here provides a specific high pH level for specifically for mushrooms and plant growth, that sort of thing. It doesn't do anything for humans, but for a closer to nature life form, it works like an accelerated healing potion. You just need to heat it up just the right amount. It's the difference between caramel and garbage, right? It's like a couple of seconds.
It is a fine line.
It is. It is a very, very, oh man.
I have crossed that line a couple times.
Same. Like that line is real thin.
That line pisses me off.
Yeah.
So I guess I will make that and I'll go over to Conocype and say, just have to warm it up a little bit, but this should help with the wound that you got earlier.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna holler a joke from ways over there. Just rub a little dirt on it.
Nice. Have you seen the rub some bacon on it video?
No, I have not.
I'm gonna have to send that to you. You're gonna love it.
Please do.
Conocype, what does yours look like? Your downtime?
Well, I was gonna say attend to my wound, but I guess I already got that covered. I'm going to try to repair the damage to my bow.
Really? Okay, sure.
So how exactly I would do that? I'm not entirely sure. I think what I would do is maybe find or make some wood shavings.
Okay.
And kind of like jam it into the cracks in the bow and then wrap it up with some cloth.
Nice.
I hope that gives it some stability.
Yeah. You find some scraps, you shove it in, you wrap it up, and you kind of give it a really hard tug so it's tight. And you're like, yeah, that'll probably work. That'll hold. It's not the same thing as a brand new stick, but it'll hold. I guess it's technically a stave. Jacobite, your downtime isn't just you being rub some dirt on, is it? It might be,
No, I'm just smoking my pipe and relaxing.
I see. I love how much mileage you're getting out of the prop. I really do.
It's a nice one.
I almost always have a can of seltzer. I'm gonna have to figure out how to use that as a prop at some point.
I mean, it could be in a vault somewhere.
One of these days, we're gonna use this.
Excellent. Excellent.
Like I bought this right before COVID, so I have never actually used it at the table. I even know how long it goes for. I timed it in the store when I bought it.
47 seconds.
22 minutes and about 12 seconds.
Okay. That was close.
Totally. So, or put another way, a half-hour TV show if you strip out all the commercials, right?
Yes. If you watch the Netflix version, which has already cut out about 60 seconds or so of really funny stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Friends on Netflix is
what's that?
It's cut out.
Really?
The jokes end before they actually end, and it pisses me off.
Gross.
I watched it on the DVDs.
Right.
Kids, if you don't know what that is, it's a round thing that plays video.
Yeah. See, before we watch things on demand, we still watch them on demand, but we had to go buy it separately at a physical location and then come home with it.
You still didn't have to rewind.
Yeah. Oh,
but I remember those days too.
Yeah, remember the video store? I don't. I guess that's not true. I'm old enough to remember Blockbuster. Blockbuster was responsible for me buying a PlayStation 3.
Oh.
Picked up saw Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction. I was like, oh, new Ratchet game. And then that was it. Too late. Bought a PS3.
Nice. Clank is one of the best series.
Oh, I'm such a fan. And I will die on the hill that Going Commando is better than Up Your Arsenal. Which
I will die with you on that hill as well.
It is not a popular opinion. I don't know if you know that, but it is not. Up Your Arsenal is like the crown jewel for lots of people, and I don't get it. Going Commando has bigger, badder, more ridiculous weapons. There's more of them, right? The game is longer, and it just I don't know. There's
just give me a rhino. That's all I need.
Right? I really, really love the chopper one. The one where you throw like shurikens.
Yep.
I love the shit out of that thing. And the Tesla gun, because it's a claw that doesn't actually grab anything. And I just think that's really funny. You just pull the trigger and it fires off this big electric ball. It's hilarious. Anyway, sorry, nerd. So everybody gets their rest is in, right? Everybody heals their one scratch mark off a thing, except Kurkano Saib, who gets 2 because she had like medicinal aid on top of her already regularly scheduled rest. From here, are we headed off to the vault?
Yes.
Yep.
You bet. You get to the vault. You have flying, mantas that so their rest is they just kind of flatten very flat onto the ground and sort of, you can hear them sort of chewing / sucking on the dirt. When they peel off of it, like those sucker fish in fish tanks that clean off the algae, when they peel off in the morning, that dirt's a gray color. They have drained all the nutrients out of it. You sky skirt away with them, and you, in no time, find the vault thing. It's wrapped in big. It's huge. It's like the size you can't even see the end of it. Think like if it was a single steel box the size of New York City. Like all of it. Like it's enormous. And there's this big knot of vines that writhe all over it. Back and forth like a kind of like this. They just kind of grind all over the outside of it.
So can we tell what the vault itself is made of?
It's definitely made out of a metal. It's a worn out blue color. Like it's been faded over time.
Napalis, you're good with science. What are the heating properties of metal?
It would depend very much on the metal.
I like how much you'd have to do to melt it.
So if we were to say set all these vines on fire, would it destroy the vault?
Sure, I'll roll for that.
Yeah.
Probably only got 3 dice, but we'll give it a go. 654.
No kidding. So you look it over, and while setting the vines on fire will probably destroy them, it probably won't create enough heat to melt the vault, unless you get them to burn hotter than they are supposed to. Like you're going to need extra fuel, or the sticks will burn up into nothing before they get cumulatively hot enough to melt the vault.
Like, say, jet fuel.
Like that. Right, that would work. Some sort of accelerant. Yeah. But more than that, something for it to eat while it eats something for it to eat before and after it sets the sticks on fire.
Back up though.
Yeah.
It is rusty, correct?
It's worn, it's not rusty. The
Okay.
color's been beaten out of it by presumably sunlight at some point, but no, there's no rust.
Is there anything around me that is rusty?
Yeah, there's a couple of old worn out, will look like road signs. They're triangular and they have like one of them says yield on it. Another one is octagonal.
Excellent.
Why?
I should say that I'm probably in my tool belt, probably have like soda cans and things like that are made out of aluminum.
Aluminium, right?
And there's rust.
Yeah.
And then
I used to work at the lab in college, the chemistry lab, so I know exactly where he's going.
Oh, good. I don't. I'm kind of hoping he pulls a bag of flour out of his pocket and just calls it a day.
I watched a lot of MacGyver, so I know where he's going.
So we're going to make some thermite.
Oh, okay, sure.
And I mean, that obviously burns hot enough, yes.
Yeah, thermite's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Thermite, I'm vaguely familiar with it. Isn't it partially made out of metal?
Well,
it's aluminum and rust, basically.
Oh, okay. Cool. How hot is that? Pretty hot, yeah.
This is probably the most dangerous thing I've done yet.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
So, do we want to purposefully destroy the vault, though? Like, I thought my idea was to just burn away what was on the outside and then use the code to get in.
I'm going to just say that, I mean, I could. I don't think it's a good idea, but I could.
I respect that you could, and someday I would really like to see this. But think about all the previous stuff that's in this vault.
Well, that's why I said I don't think it's a good idea.
Or for all we know, there might be people in there.
I bothered to look it up. Thermite, I knew that thermite doesn't explode.
It's about 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah, enough to 2,200 Celsius, enough to burn through titanium.
Yeah.
Like butter.
At the very least, you're making some
like,
to maybe use later, though, right?
Can you contain thermite? Is there something it won't?
You don't have to set it on fire. You have to actually have a magnesium strip to set it on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you can like mix it
or some sort
then,
of high flame or high temperature flame.
So you can like make it and then just leave it.
Yeah, just put it in a bag. It's fine.
Yeah, no kidding. Cool.
That's fair.
That's terrifying.
But those sparkles have enough bang in them to set it off.
I may or may not have done this in the lab.
He may or may not have been the reason that our chemistry 2 teacher never told us to pick a lab out again.
That's why Ed always has a virtual background, because the room behind him is just packed with bombs and shit. Like, yeah, I never get to see both. You notice we never see his fingers because he's got lots of little nicks and scratches and crap.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any fingerprints. He burned them off. Like,
that was acid, not fire.
For now,
Mhm.
I've got an idea, but let's try some other things first.
Okay. You're definitely not in combat. Feel free to, jump in anytime. Ozetta, you and Kanosai are probably the most interested in whatever's in this vault. Are you okay with him blowing it to shit?
I kind of assume, like, as they're talking about whether or not they're going to burn it, I'm like looking for the pad going, do I put it in? I can put it in. 472. I just need to put the last one.
You can see the pad. It's underneath the writhing roots. To get to it, you risk being literally squished into paste. But you can see it. Yeah. As the vines writhe back and forth, you get clear line of sight on it every other third second or so. It's not very big. Like, it's the kind of thing humans would use with their ordinary fingers. There's a keypad with like little light up buttons, the kind of thing you'd see in a spy movie, right? And then you should hear beep, and it should open. What you don't see is a door, and the keypad's kind of in a weird spot. If you were looking at this, if you're looking down on it and you're looking at line of sight on the keypad from above, which either suggests the keypad is on the roof, which would be odd, or that the thing itself has been rotated from the past, which is, I mean, it's possible. The world was destroyed. It's much more likely that something got thrown. Even if that's true, it's like 16 feet from the bottom edge. No human has ever been that tall.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look around and see if I can find like some like longer sticks to use to push the button. So when I get close enough that it's like, because I mean I'm jelly, but I'm not that malleable.
You bet. There's a couple of broken vines and sticks and bits you could use. Sure, they're all a little bendy. Not really sure you can put enough pressure in them to make that happen, but you can certainly give it a shot.
Are there any stones or pebbles nearby?
Bunches.
I'm gonna gather a couple pockets full for my slingshot.
Okay, sounds good. Joaquin, what do you think?
Joaquin, I would feel like would probably be trying to work with Nepalese on this, trying to brainstorm some way to clear these roots or vines, whatever they are. So it would be more of like an assistant role. Like Joaquin is willing to do whatever Nepalese needs him to do.
Sounds good. Before I get back to Nepalese,
correct?
Go ahead.
Vines are moving, correct?
Yes, it's a big it's a big ball of writhing vines that kind of rotate back and forth like gnashing waves around the outside of this giant structure.
Okay, Conaside. Can I borrow that ball? You're the one that has the ball, right?
Ball?
The rubber ball, I think Izetta has that.
I have that one, but if you would like it, you can have it.
Yeah, I'd like to borrow the ball. And I'm just like remembering like how the trees reacted to like previous stuff.
Yep.
That's smart.
And just trying to throw it at the vines and see, like, try to angle it so it bounces back at me.
Yeah, you bet. Make a roll for that, not to see if you hit the vines, but to see if you get the ball back.
Okay. Sharps. No. I can do that one now.
Random, did you fart?
5 and 3 ones. It did not want to give it back, but glad it does not cancel out.
Say again.
5 and 3 ones.
So believe it or not, you pass. It doesn't matter that you rolled 3 ones. It matters that you rolled 1 5. You get the highest number you rolled. You also get a narrative twist, which counts as a success on a narrative twist. So you get the ball back, but you throw it with too much force and it'll crack on the side of it. It's not going to bounce perfectly anymore. It'll bounce, but I mean, it's like when little kids get too rough with them and the plastic like flakes a little bit. The rubber flakes a little bit. So every now and again, you're going to throw it and hit that spot and it's not going to bounce right.
Okay.
What did you have a narrative twist you wanted in that as the vines ripple away from it like it was a fireball?
Maybe there's like a little screeching sound too as it happens.
Okay, sure. There's a like it's an actual like a cat person as the vines ripple away from the keypad. Rosetta, you want to swoop down there and beep 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 beep?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on down and put that in.
The vines roll away from you and you can see them like pushing, like they really want to come crush you. But the ball makes them very uncomfortable. And I mean, Nopali still has it, right? You push the code in and there is a deep beeping noise. Like it's loud. It's so loud, it rumbles the thing you're standing on. And then there's that like Apple II voice, code accepted. And you hear a as the ground you're standing on starts to shift towards the vines with you as the door you're on moves open. There's a distinct gush of fresh air and the sounds of lots of industry down there. And I will see you in a week.
All right.
All right.
Cool.